Right, a short date, please, and learn objective. Right, can we please then, can you make sure you've got a calculator? Make sure you've got a calculator, and ideally print off the attachment on the portal as well, please. The attachment on the portal, which is all about, I think it's to find multiply percentage year 7 or something. Okay, so can you have those ready? Short date, calculator, and that document ideally printed off. If you can't print it off, don't worry, but ideally print it off. And then we'll get started. So pause the video while you sort all that, and then press play when you're all ready. Okay, so we have been manually finding out. That means just sort of doing our workings out, sort of percentage of something. So now we're going to use a calculator. So if I want to find 32% of 40, okay, 32% of 40. Now, of course, I can find 10%, I can find 1%, and I can do all that sort of stuff. But what we're actually going to be using is a calculator today, okay? So I'm just going to be using a normal calculator, okay? So let's have a look at what I need to do to find 32% of 40. So what I need to do, first of all, I'm going to turn this 32% into its decimal equivalent. So that means dividing to turn a percentage to a decimal, we divide by 100. So it becomes 0.32. And this is called our multiplier. Okay, and all I have to do now, once I've turned that into a decimal, is times it by my 40, by my original number. So let's go 0.32 times 40 equals 12.8. So 32% of 40 is 12.8. Okay, 12.8. So all we're doing really, we're turning our percentage into a decimal and then multiplying it. And actually, what I can do to make that easier, I can just write in my 32. To turn that into a decimal, I divide it by 100, and then I've got my multiplier, times it by 40, 12.8. Much easier than going through the rigmarole we did yesterday, didn't we, and the day before, and so on. Okay. Right, let's try another one. Let's go with, so the sort of thing you might get is this sort of, for example, if somebody has a loan, they might have a 9.7%, they have to pay 9.7% back of £500. So from there we can work out how much they have to pay back on top of the £500. Okay, so again, we find our multiply. We do this by turning our percentage into a decimal. If you want to write that down, write it down. Turn the percentage into a decimal. So 9.7 is actually, and let's just put that on in the calculator. So 9.7 divided by 100, because I want to turn that into my decimal first, 0.097. So I've already got that in the calculator now, 0.097. Then I multiply that by my number, in this case 500, equals, 5. Crikey. I mean, I think there we are. That's a bit of a surprise. 5. I must have rounded it up, okay. Times the 500 will give me 5. Okay. Right. Okay. So that is basically how we find the percentage by using a calculator. What I've done, I've put another one, another sort of video on the portal in case you want to, in case you're struggling with that. Okay, so it's goes through it a bit more slowly. Right, let's have a little look. So you might have this, for example, you've got this question. Okay, so you have £12 every week, okay, as your pocket money. Okay, you've been very well behaved, you've been doing your chores. Okay, so you get a 15% increase. Okay, 15% increase. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you a way to do that. Now, how you do it on a calculator, you would find 50%. So you can do, again, you're going to turn that 15% into a decimal, 0.15. You times it by 12. So let's do that, 0.15 times 12 equals 1.8, okay? So 1.8, so you get an extra £1.80 every week, okay? An extra £1.80 every week. You would add that on, so to find out your new total, £12 plus £1.80, so you get £13.80 is your new pocket money, isn't it? Okay, so we can do it that way, but I'm going to just show you, and this is what I want you to use. I want you to use the attachment that I've asked you to print off, the notes about how to find a percentage increase. Okay, get the notes myself. Hang on. Right, so it tells us through the notes. So first thing, so I want to find a multiplier for a percentage increase. So I'm going to add my increase. So it's a 15% increase, okay, to 100%. So if we look at the first bullet point there, okay, first add the increase. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do, in this case, 15%. I'm going to add that to the 100%. And I've got 115. And now the next thing, I'm going to convert that into a decimal. So I'm dividing that by 100. And then 1.15, and that is now my multiplier. Okay, that is my multiplier. Okay, when I've got my multiplier, all I have to do, if you look below, use your multiplier to find an increase or decrease. I'm going to multiply that by the amount I normally get, £12. So if I times that by £12, okay, I get straight to £13.80. Okay, so it cuts out a lot of that work. Okay, I find my multiplier, okay, and then I multiply by my original amount, and it does all that for me. Okay, so it's finding the multiplier for an increase or decrease. Okay, so let's have a look at another one. Let's have a look at another question. Okay, and again, use the notes just to follow carefully. Okay, so here we have, in a shop, normally the biscuits is a 170-gram packet of biscuits. Okay, but they've decided to go for a 22% extra free as a special offer. Okay, 22% extra free. Everyone's happy. We're getting more biscuits, aren't we? Okay, so I want to find, so 22% increase on that, isn't it? So I'm going to find my multiplier. Let's have a little look at our notes again. So I'm going to add 22% to 100%. Okay, so that gives me 122%. Now I'm going to divide that by 100 to turn it into a decimal. So this is my multiplier. 1.22 is called my multiplier. Okay, because I want to do an increase. All I have to do that now is times by my 170 grams, okay, times by 170, and that gives me the new one will be 207.4 grams. Okay, that's the new weight of the biscuits. Okay, that's the new weight. Okay, it's increased to that. That's the new weight. Okay, so it's a way of finding out the new amount. Okay, now we can also use this method to decrease things. Okay, so for example, you might have been getting £12 a week pocket money, but you've not been doing your chores, so you get a 15% decrease. Oh dear, you really should have tidied your bedroom. Okay, so again, we have to find the multiplier first of all. So again, go back to your notes. Okay, go back to your notes. And what does it say to find a multiplier first? Add for an increase or subtract for a decrease. Now this is a decrease. Okay, the percentage from 100%. So I'm going to do 100% minus 15%. So I'll just do that on the calculator because I might as well. 100 minus 15 gives me 85. Now again, I have to turn that 85% into a decimal. turn into a decimal, then convert to a decimal, and the next bullet point tells me. So I'm just dividing by 100, aren't I, to turn into a decimal. And this is my multiplier now, 0.85. All I have to do is times that by £12, and this is my new amount I get each week, okay? Times by 12, okay? And now I only get £10.20, okay? Should have tidied your bedroom, okay? Lost you £1.80 there, isn't it? Okay, so this is how you do your multiplier decrease and multiplier, okay, to increase by using a calculator and decrease. Let's do one more, okay, and it's another one where you've got, let's go back to the biscuits. So 170-gram packet of biscuits. Now, okay, because of economic downturn, they're making it smaller, okay? So they're putting 22% less weight, okay? So we can now find out what the new weight will be. What is the new weight of the packet, okay? So let's look at our notes. Let's look at our notes. First of all, we can see it's a decrease because it's less weight, it's a decrease. So we're going to subtract the percentage change from 100. So we're going to do 100, 100, and we will take away the 22, which gives us 78. Now we're going to turn that 78, the next bullet point down says convert this to a decimal. Okay, so just following these, convert it into a decimal, divide by 100. To convert that into decimal, and now it's 0.78, and this is our multiplier. All we have to do is times that then by the 170 grams, okay, times by 170, and we got 132 grams, 132.6 grams is the new weight, okay, the new weight of the packet of biscuits. Okay, so that's using a calculator to help us with the with our work. Okay, remember you can always come back and just check this when you come to do the questions yourself. Actually, you're not really the expectation for the work you've been set today is not to use this method. Okay, but I want you to use it. Try and use it. It's something we will go back to. You will go back to in year 8 for sure. Okay. And take it a little bit further, but try and use this method and use those notes. The key is to use those notes, follow those notes. You can't really go wrong. Okay, right. The work I want you to do is on the portal. Can you have a go at that, please? And I shall see you next time. Bye.